Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Shane Marie. Today I want to do a recommendations video. So right now it's sometime in February, which means that in America it is Black History Month. And to celebrate that on my end, I wanted to recommend some Own Voices novel written by Black authors featuring Black protagonists. So let's get right into it. So there are 5 books I want to mention today, plus an honorary mention, so technically 6 books. The first one that I want to recommend is The Sun is Also a Star by NICOLA YOON. Just a side note, this one's actually being adapted into a movie. I'm not sure when it's coming out. I want to say sometime soon though, but just as an FYI there. So this book follows 2 teenagers who come from completely different worlds and are dealing with very different issues, and then one day they end up meeting. And that one day changed everything. So I actually have a video review on this book from way back when, so I'll link that above in case you want to check that out. But I absolutely enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars because it was such a cute, adorable read. So like I said, this book follows 2 teenagers who, despite all their backgrounds, like cultural backgrounds, belief backgrounds, their hobbies, etc., they somehow managed to fall in love with each other within the span of one day. So this isn't a book where the characters really develop, but this is the book about how they met and how they fell in love. And of course this book also has some great diversity in it, and it also talks about some serious topics, specifically immigration, and how sometimes immigration in America is just so unfair. So overall, I just really enjoyed this book. I thought it was such a great, heartwarming novel, and I'm just really excited for the movie to come out as well, so I cannot wait to watch that soon. Then of course the second book that I want to recommend is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. So for whatever reason, if you don't happen to know what this book slash movie is about, it follows a girl called Star who lives in a predominantly black and poor neighborhood, but on the flip side she goes to a suburban prep school that is predominantly white. So she basically has these 2 worlds that do not overlap at all. One night she goes to a party in her neighborhood, meet a childhood friend that she hasn't met in a very long time. He offers to take her home, and on the way back home they get stopped by the cops, and there she witnesses the fatal shooting of her friend. And the rest of the book just really focuses on the aftermath and bringing justice to Khalil. And the book is also just a response to police brutality and the Black Lives Matter movements. So of course I gave this book 5 stars. This book was so good. I pretty much have recommended this book to everyone who has not read any books recently, and when they ask me for recommendations, this is the first book that I push onto them. So I literally cannot not include this book when I'm trying to feature a list of Black authors to recommend. So obviously I love this book so much. I love how the author portrayed Star's emotions like before, during, and of course after everything had happened. And the reason why this book stands out so much to everyone is because it actually deals with such real issues that's happening today. So if there's one book that you want to pick up from this list, then let it be this one. The next book on this list I want to recommend is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. So this book follows a girl called Xiomara who lives in Harlem, who has recently just discovered her love for poetry as a way for her to express her feelings and thoughts on her mother's religion, as well as her view on the world. And then after discovering her school's poetry slam club, she learns to speak out and be heard. This book, you guys, I gave 5 stars. This book was so good. Oh my god. What stood out to me in this book was how well the author portrayed Xiomara's relationship, specifically with her mother and religion. Not to mention the romance was also so well done. The author did such a good job with portraying all of the intensity of first love as well as all of its insecurities. So overall, at the end of the day, there are just so many elements in this book that I absolutely adore, and I cannot recommend this book enough. And as a testament to why I absolutely love this book so much, and as a way to recommend this book to everyone, I actually don't like reading books in verse, like poetry format, just because it's just not my thing. I don't like poetry for the most part, but this book, you guys, everything, the emotions, the portrayal, the relationships, the romance, like everything about it is just so well done here that I absolutely fell in love with it. So if you really enjoy books written in verse, then I definitely recommend this one. Even if you don't enjoy books written in verse, then I still recommend this one. The next book I want to recommend is Pride by E.B. ZOBOI. This book is essentially a modern remix of Pride and Prejudice that is set in Brooklyn that features 2 African American teenagers. So this book is probably the lowest rated book in this recommendation list at 3.5 stars, but because I still really enjoy this book overall, I still really want to recommend this one. So I absolutely adored the first half of this book. I love the references to the original Pride and Prejudice, as well as all the bantering between Zuri and her sisters. I'm not going to say why this book ended up being a 3.5 stars, but for a very long time this book was a great contender for a 4-star book. So at the end of the day, I still really enjoyed it. If you're looking for a lighthearted, diverse retelling of a classic, then I definitely recommend this one. The last book that I want to recommend is The Bells by DHONIELLE CLAYTON. Okay, first of all, how gorgeous is this cover, guys? It's so pretty. So anyways, this book is set in the fantasy world of Orleans. This is not at all related to New Orleans. which I thought it was, but it wasn't. And at this point in time, due to the goddesses and goddesses of this world, people are born gray and ugly. But to overcome this, there are these bells who are basically created in the likeness of this goddess to essentially provide beauty to the people. And so this book follows a girl called Camellia, who is a belle, and her goal in life right now is to become the favorite, which is this coveted position next to the queen. However, as the book continues, her and the rest of the belles soon realize that there are some inner workings going on, and there are a ton of mysteries and secrets behind the walls. And now she needs to face a choice of either saving herself and the other belles or risking her own life. So this book gave me the most emotional whirlwind of adventure ever. In the beginning, I was very much confused with the world building. I didn't understand the way how the magic system worked. But at the end of the day, I gave this book 4 stars because it literally went sky high in terms of my emotions on this book. And that is mostly because of the mystery element. Once the mystery element got into play there, this book became so fascinating to me, and the book ended on such a huge cliffhanger that I am so excited for the second one. So if you enjoy mysteries, if you enjoy secrets that's set in a very lush world, then I definitely recommend this book. Then the honorable mention that I was kind of hesitant about putting on this list was because of this recent drama that happened between the author and this other author that I wasn't particularly fond of, but because I still want to recommend this book because I still enjoy the book overall, I decided to put it on this list but as an honorable mention instead. So this book is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This book is set in the land of Orisha, where the world used to hum with magic. And at this point, for whatever reason, magic is essentially gone, and Zili now has this one chance to bring back magic and strike down the monarchy. And she somehow garners the help of a runaway princess, and she must outwit and outrun the crown's prince before magic is gone forever. So obviously I really like this book. This is why this book is on this list. I gave it 4 stars. For me, the best part of the book were the 2 female characters, Zili and Amari. I just love seeing how much they've matured and developed throughout the book, and honestly, they were such badasses in their own ways. I also really enjoy the lush world building with all the different gods and the different types of magic. So overall, at the end of the day, if you're looking for some great fantasy novels with some badass female characters, great diversity, magic, then I definitely recommend this book for you. So anyways, that's it. Those are the 5 books plus the honorable mention that I want to recommend for you guys in this video. Let me know down below if you have read any of the books that I mentioned here. If you want to pick up any of the books that I mentioned here, let me know down below. Also, if you have read them, let me know if you like them or not, if you agree with my recommendations. If you have more recommendations, let me know down below as well. But as always, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!